Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Vaughn Radio.
This is Vaughn Radio, and it's Show with No Name time. So get ready for liftoff. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
Now.
0.
All right.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Hold on to your hats, folks.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after.
It's going to be a bumpy exit. Get ready. Here we go.
Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready
For the ride of your life.
The show with no. It's Show with No Name time on Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show. Let's go.
That's right, amigos. Welcome to Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name, and we're back for another exciting edition of the show. Thank you to all of you who came to Feria del Libro. All our amigos who came from all over to join us at the Feria del Libro. Man, it was great to see you guys. All of you brought the magic. You know who you are. If you haven't checked it out, I shared a video on social media. Also, follow Vaughn, follow Grupo Vaughn, follow me, follow my buddies at Vaughn Radio, and you'll be able to laugh and learn with us every day. Also, download the Vaughn Radio app. That's right, folks, the Vaughn Radio app, where you can listen to all our programs whenever you want. This is Vaughn Radio, folks, and it's a pleasure to be here with you again. And that's right, folks, this is your last chance to get in on the action, because it's coming to an end next weekend. I'm talking about the one and only, the magical
Step right up,
Feria del
ladies
Libro.
and gentlemen. It's that time of year again. Spring has sprung. And that means it's time for the book fair at the Retiro Park in Madrid. It kicks off on May 26th till June 11th. Join us at Grupo Vaughn stand 312, 312. I'll be there with Damian Moya presenting our latest book. And my amigos will be there signing their books as well. Don't miss
Julia Linares, or Jules, host of the Let's Get Random show.
Dave Boys, host of The Salads.
Jimena Holiday, host of Test Your English.
Guy Williams, host of Western Civilization.
Natasha Pasqua, host of Back to Basics.
Kyle Miller from The Drive Time Show.
Richard Vaughn.
and many more. Meet your favorite Vaughn presenters, teachers, and authors at Feria del Libro 2023. Stand 312. Check out our website for the complete schedule, grupovaughn.com, and follow us on social media for further updates. Feria del Libro 2023 with Vaughan. at the Retiro Park in Madrid. Join us at stand 312.
That's right, folks. We'll be there. This is the last weekend coming up. So if you can get here, I will be there. Let's see who else. Damian and I will be there from 11 to 2. Damian was not there this weekend, and apologies on his behalf. He got sick, and we asked, he didn't want to come, and we asked him not to come. It was a mutual thing, and hopefully he'll be ready to rock at our last signing. It's official. It's in. Everybody is saying it. This book is the shit. Really lives up to its title. That's right. You guys are telling me it really is the shit. So thank you so much. And we're going to look at it in today's pop quiz. Come on, pop quiz. Come on. Come on, pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. It's our pop quiz only on the show with no name. And this one is coming right out of my latest book. This book is the shit. Again, thank you to all of you who came. It was so special to see you guys there. And again, when I say that, I don't just say that, it's not just me. I'm speaking on behalf of everybody, all of us. Nacho, who was there, Kike, Ximena, this weekend. It was so awesome. 2 of my cousins showed up. What can I say? It was magical. And Chris Valrol was there, Leo, Laura. It was a who's who of show with no namers. So thank you. A, for coming, and B, for picking up a copy of my latest book. As you're seeing, and the word is out, you guys are impressed. And that's, hey, it's all for you. Everything I do it for you. All right, so I'm going to ask you for 3 sentences in today's pop quiz. And why? Because I know you guys can hack it. What? Hack, like hackear? Yeah, but in this case, to hack it es que podéis con ello. I know you can take it. Lo puedes soportar o aguantar. And speaking of the word take, today we're going to be looking at that word take, which is so much more than just tomar. And we're looking at, if you have the book, this book is the shit, we're looking at page 142, 142, okay? And this is in our video game chapter. As you know, there are chapters on video games, Disney, The Simpsons, Christmas. There's a food chapter, and all of it is very, very cool because it's very visual. You have QR codes that link to videos where we work on pronunciation. So it's not just a vocabulary book. You look at grammar. And here we're looking at a very common structure, which is also the name of a video game. The video game is called It Takes Two. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's a game where it takes two. Se requiere dos, right? It takes two, which is kind of cool because from there we can get, well, it takes two to run a company. Look at last week. We looked at Steve Jobs on my podcast, FYI. In that case, it took 2 people, one to design it, Steve Wozniak, and one to sell it and really sell the idea really well out there. So it's very common to use this structure. And it's not just it takes 2 para hacer algo, But also, what it is it also is cuánto se tarda. Think about it. Se tarda is it takes. So si yo digo, it takes 2 minutes to get to, the pharmacy. Eso se tarda. How long does it take is the question. So we're going to look at a couple different usages of this take over here, and we're going to see if you've got what it takes. Otro. No se requiere dos. Do you have what it takes? Have you got what it takes? Right? So again, we've already used it in 4 or 5 different usages here. So let's take a look at the other that I'm going to give you 3. I decided I'm going to give you 3 here. Okay. So the first one is literalmente, hace falta uno para conocer a otro o a uno. Okay. Y ahora lo explicamos. We'll explain it in just a moment. So the translation in Spanish really would be, se cree el ladrón que todos son de condición. So if you look at me and you say, hey, Alberto, you love planes, man. I'm like, well, si lo has visto es porque algo has visto que eres tú así también. Okay, so it's a cool, very succinct, concise expression in English, what means, ahí me has visto, no? So saying you're like me for noticing that. Okay, so I want them all 3 together, please, because I'm seeing a lot of comments now. So give them to me all together. It would be easier, just for the sake of not confusing your teacher. Please, I beg you not to do that. You don't even have to. I'll get confused on my own. So the first one, put them all together, is se cree el ladrón que todos son de su condición. What would you say? Todos estos requieren take de alguna forma. The next one, se necesitan agallas. Requiere, same idea, agallas. Okay? Para hacer tal cosa. You can put your thing. Add your own example. Ahí quiero que pongas tu ejemplo. So the first one is frase hecha. The second one, ¿qué es lo que necesitas agallas para hacer? Tú o crees. Use your own example. That is number 2. And number 3, dos no pelean si uno no quiere. Okay, which is another idiomatic expression. Now, these are all on page 142. Please give me them all together in one post, and then whoever gets all 3 of them first, well, you'll be our winner in our pop quiz. But guys, today's show is gonna be thrilling. Speaking of thrilling, first things first, how you machines doing? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Let's take a picture. Quick question. ¿Cómo se dice emocionar en inglés?
To emotionate.
No. Think of Michael Jackson. Una pista de audio. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
A thriller.
That's right. So emocionar is to
thrill.
Eso es. And this book is the shit will thrill you. It's thrilling.
Sí, señor. This book is the shit. El inglés que no sabías que sabías. 1000 nuevas palabras para tu colección. De la mano de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Now we're talking. That's right, folks. Available everywhere. Also, a quick reminder to our amigos in Barcelona. Barcelona, are you with me? All right. I know we've got a lot of listeners there, so I want to see each and every one of you out when we get there on the 16th. I'll be there with my buddy Damián Moya. Write this down, my amigos in Barcelona. We're going to be at Librería Alibri. Alibri. It is an old school. Well, it's modern, but it's old school. It's classic. I was taking a look at the website, and it looks awesome. I already have confirmation from about maybe 10 students who are going to be there, including a cousin of mine. So if you're free, amigos in Barcelona or around Barcelona, this is Friday, June 16th. So it's right after the book fair. This is for those of you who asked me, did you come to San Jordi? I got that question a lot. I said, no, but I'm coming on the 16th. And you don't have to get through the crowds. No hay tanta masa de gente. You can come. And if you know Damian Moya, and you know me well, and I think you know me pretty well, you can expect a show. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be, esto es nuestro libro, ahora vamos a firmarlo. No, you're going to get a little English class. If you can join us, it would be great to see you. This is June 16th. It's a Friday. It's at 6:30 p.m. It's Calle Balmes 26. Again, we'll be presenting our latest book. This book is the shit. That is absolutely thrilling, according to you guys. And I'd love to see you all. So hopefully you'll join us in Barcelona. All right, let's go on over to our chat room. We've got a lot of students here on board who are eager to learn English, eager to have fun. And let's see what we've got. Kubla checking in. He says, good morning, embraceable mass. Let's dive in with both feet. Tirarse de cabeza, zambullirse. Let's dive in with both feet in the absorbing planet of English language, It's well worth it. Vale la pena de sobra. Whoa, yeah. Kubla off to a good start. Has empezado con buen pie. Born to Iron Man. What's up, buddy? He says, morning, folks. How was it going to the Madrid Book Fair? Well, you know me. I thought it was magical, and I think everybody will agree. Just look at the smiles on our faces. All of us, from Ximena to Kike to all of you guys. So thank you once again. You don't know how special it is for us. We really enjoy it. All of us. Kyle said in the group, what a great day. I got to meet so many of our listeners. We really, really sincerely love when you guys, when we can meet you guys. So these little book fairs, book signings, these are great, excuses, air quotes, entre parentheses, excuses to meet up. Not just with me. I know many of you met up with each other. That is freaking beautiful. Let's see. We've got Laura, speaking of peeps, peeps who came to hang out and have a lovely day in the Retiro Park. Laura was there, front row center. And it was funny because Chris and Laura each made signs. Like the chauffeurs, the limo drivers at the airport. They're like, Mr. Jones. Well, there's a picture. If you haven't seen the video, I posted it on social media. But, wow, great times. And a shout out to Nacho. We realized, okay, you guys might like us, your teachers. A lo mejor te caemos bien, but you guys love Nacho. You adore him. And you know what? We get it. We adore him too. So good morning, precious show with no namers. Let's have a fantastic start to the week together. The book fair was amazing. Born to Iron Man, we missed you and the rest of the gang. No doubt about it. There's Nihad. Nihad says, good morning, our godsend. Great one there, Nihad. A godsend. Nuestra bendición, nuestro regalo desde el cielo. Wow. Thank you. Nihad, you made me feel really good with just 4 words. That's power. That is magic. That's Nihad, the one and only. Speaking of one and only, there's Leo. Leo was fashionably late. He came in like Elvis, like, hey, everybody, no pictures. No, I'm joking. And he says, hello, friends, AA. I have to agree with you and tell you that this latest book surpasses the previous ones in the Milk Saga. My son and I are devouring the book. Talk about magic. That's amazing, Leonardo. Beautiful news. Music to my eyes. Porque porque lo estoy leyendo. Leo, great to see you, and your son and your whole family came out. Great to see your wife as well. So it's a family thing, guys. Vaughn is, okay, you could call us a company, and yes, we are. But if you see the way we get along with each other and the way we, interact with you guys and the way you interact with each other, that's like family vibes. So thank you, familia. 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 Leo says, we're learning a bunch of new words without even realizing it. You found the key and hit the jackpot. Me encanta. Te tocó el gordo. You say the fat guy touched you. Oh, man, that's weird in English. Yeah, you hit the jackpot. Kudos. I wish you all the success the book deserves. Well, guys, that's going to depend on you guys. And that's one thing I'm going to beg. I don't like begging, but I will. If you guys got the book this weekend and you're reading it and you enjoy it and you find something funny or interesting and you want to share it, please share it. Share it on Instagram. That's the one I use the most. You can share it on Twitter. Facebook, I don't really use very often. And I'd love to share it, You know how many times I've done that? And somebody says, oh, I see that your students study everywhere. Somebody sent a picture from the bathroom. Oh, yeah, there's no wrong place. So share it. Spread the word. Tell people something you learned. And if you mention me, I'd be more than happy. Encantado. I'd be more than happy to share it because you're helping me. So I'll share your account too and say, hey, here's another English lover, another person who's passionate about language like you, show with no namers and FYIers. Let's see who else is on board. Leo says also, and what else can I say? It was a great pleasure to greet you there and meet the formidable Laura, Chris, Fran, and Nacho. I send you all a big hug from here. Yeah, really, it was amazing to have the whole family together. Vero says, good morning. Speaking of family, we are family. I got all my Veros in me. We are family. Come on, Vero, sing it with me. All of you. Good morning, beautiful people. Getting ready to go to the book fair. Oh, cool. Well, today, I don't know who's there, but you got to pick up a copy of the latest book. Well, do whatever you want, but you're hearing what your classmates have to say about it. Let's see. She also says, let's see what or who I find there. Well, I'm sure you'll find something going on. The Retiro Park is always a great place, and it won't be as crowded. Abarrotado, you say, right? I used to say aborrotado. I think it's abarrotado. Oh, I always get mixed up there, There's Laura. She says, I fully agree, Leo. I like this one too. I couldn't agree more. No podría estar más de acuerdo, right? But I fully agree también, Perfecto. I fully agree, Leo. The book is really wowing me. You guys are wowing me, impresionándome. Wow. Es que más lógico imposible, ¿no? You're wowing me with your vocabulary today and all that jazz. So awesome, guys. I see it's working. All this exposure to English. So she says, the book is really wowing me, and I'm thrilled to the grill to have it and to have been able to meet you all. Well, just be careful, Laura. I got to be honest with you. I've never heard thrilled to the grill. I love it, but I've never heard it. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. We say, I'm thrilled to the gills. And gills, well, that's what fish have, right? I'm thrilled to the gills. I don't know if that's what you meant to say, but I love the grill. Como alguien que le encanta la barbacoa. Come on. That was my only condition. When we bought a house, I said, I just want to have a little area for the grill. That's all. Even if it's a little corner, that's all. There's Victor Fountains, Victor Fuentes, and he says, greetings from, oh, wow, El Salvador. That is awesome. We've got people from all around the globe over here, and it's early in El Salvador. So that is awesome news, and keep up that motivation, amigo. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name. So stick around. Hey, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. It's Vaughn Radio. It's Vaughn Radio. Oh, 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 oh. Don't forget to stop by our website, grupovaughn.com. You can find out about all our interesting options, from summer camps to online courses, summer impacts. We've got it all. Disney classes on the weekends for the kids. I mean, what are you looking for? And if we don't have it, let us know. You can get more information on everything we do over at grupovaughn.com. If you're looking for materials, you can go to vaughntienda.com, or if you're in Madrid, come to the book fair. Hey, 10% discount. The book ends up at 17 euros. Hey, you save $1.50. So that's wonderful news, amigos. The website, grupovaughn.com. The bookshop, vaughntienda.com. The phone number, 911-385831. And don't forget, folks, it's right around the corner. Vaughn Radio Trivia Night this week. That's right, June 7th. Hosted by the lovely Andy Vaughn and Rob Grams, both from Vaughn Radio and the Lunchtime Show. They'll be hosting Wednesday, June 7th, this free event. It's at 8:30 p.m. at Roll Madrid, Calle Amaniel 23. I'll see you there. Right now my plan is to attend. Como siempre digo, Lara permitting. ¿No? Muchas veces se dice weather permitting, si el tiempo lo permite. Well, in my case, it's not about the weather, it's Lara permitting. All right, well, folks, we've got so much to do here on today's show. Let's get right back into things with our Say What? Say what? What? It's the Say What soundbite on the Show with No Name. It's the Say What soundbite on the Show with No Name. And it drives me insane Shit'll never be the same. You know the name of the game. Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Yo, yo, hands up. All right, amigos. We've got so much to do. We haven't even solved our pop quiz yet. All right. Let's step by step. We're going to take it in stride. Take it in stride. Con filosofía. We'll get to everything. Even if we have to speed through some things at the end of the show. All right, well, let's get into it right away. You guys know how this works. The Say What soundbite is where you hear an audio clip, and what you guys have to do is you have to tell me what you heard in your own words. You'll have 4 chances by the end of the show to tell me word for word what this person is saying. Are you ready? All right, this is your Say What soundbite for the first time.
And she is like steamrolling me all the time. And then he's seeing that like she's being rude to me, she's being mean to me. Like, if you're not nice to him, he might not want to be hanging around you. And this is a keeper. This dude is really nice.
All right, there you go, folks. I think the person speaks quite clearly, right? I don't think you would have too much difficulty understanding what the person said, unless they use some kind of huge expression that you didn't know. But I think as far as the way the person speaks, pretty decent communicator, right? All right, let me give it to you a second time, and then we'll talk about what you guys heard in your own words. Here it is, the Say What soundbite for the second time.
And she is like steamrolling me all the time. And then he's seeing that like she's being rude to me, she's being mean to me. Like, if you're not nice to him, he might not want to be hanging around you. And this is a keeper. This dude is really nice.
All right, there you go, folks. There's our Say What soundbite for the second time. We also need to look at our pop quiz. So let's go on over here to our group. There's Kubla. Okay, the first one was ladrón se cree de toda condición. You know the one. The first one, he says, it takes one to know one. That is correct. It takes one to know one. So somebody says to you, oh, man, you have a sweet tooth, huh? Tú eres un poco, ¿cómo lo decís? Goloso. Entonces you're like, well, if you noticed, si tú te diste cuenta, es que ladrón. So it takes one, que otra vez es ese uso requiere. Se tarda, we already said, pues requiere. It takes one, requiere uno para reconocer a otro. O sea, tú no me hubieses visto si no fueras lo mismo. So it takes one to know one, a totally native expression. All right, the second one. It takes guts, agallas, you say. It takes guts to stand in front of a fighting bull. Absolutely, that works. It takes guts. That's right. Guts guts are training if you're a bullfighter. I wouldn't do it. And then there's that line between this guy gutsy, que es el adjetivo, gutsy or balls. Otra vez se puede reemplazar con balls, evidentemente. So to be gutsy or ballsy and just to be an idiot, right? Oh, that was gutsy. What, jumping off a cliff without a parachute? That's not gutsy. So there's that fine line. Great. So far, so good, Kubla. And the second one, which is an awesome song, the third one, excuse me, it takes two to tango. Excellent job, Kubla. It takes one to know one. This is, as I said, from the new book, It Takes One to Know One. Let me show you the book. I've got it here in front of me. This book is the shit. It takes one to know one. It takes guts to fill in the blank, right? Or, it takes balls, it takes guts. And the last one, it takes two to tango. Se requieren dos para hacer un tango. It's a great one. It's poetic, isn't it? Laura says it takes one to know one. Great job. It takes courage. That's another way. Guts, courage, balls. Do you know we say cojones? Pero no lo pronunciamos correctamente. It takes cojones. Te lo juro. I swear to God. Al menos en Nueva York, we know the word cojones. So it takes courage to speak in public. Ojo con esa palabra, no es public. ¿Cuántas veces he oído public? Oh, it's like a stake through my heart, you know? And great job, Laura. It takes two to tango. You got it. German says, hello, fair goers. It's not fair. You are in Spain and I'm so far away. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. German, you got yourself a totally native for fair goers, asistentes a la feria, y luego el juego de palabras, that pun. It's not fair. Well, hey, do you know what? I guess the fare was expensive. Oh, toma, touché. The fare, el pasaje, F-A-R-E, en metro. And oh, nice. There's a homophone for you. Chris Valrol, she says, good morning. Still hungover, de resaca. After, and I imagine she means emotional, after meeting you at the book fair. It was absolutely fantastic to see you, dear friends. Chris, thanks for bringing the magic. It was great to see you too. Let's see. Chris says, I see eye to eye with Leo and Laura. I love the book. Podías haber dicho, I agree, pero no. Quisiste el totally native. I see eye to eye with someone. Kubla says, the book costs 17 euros at the book fair, but it's worth way more. Thank you, Kubla. In fact, I did the math. There are over, this is an estimate, there are over 1,000 words in there. So $17 for the book, that's 58 cents a word. Creo. I think that's the math. Either way, I wouldn't even think about it like that. I think it's our best book yet. The other ones were us learning, and this is like, after 10 years, I think we got it. You know? Let's see. Kubla participating in our Say What soundbite. Let's see what he has to say, what he heard. He says, I heard an American man commenting about how one has to handle and treat a girl not to be given the brush off. Yeah, to brush somebody off is como ignorar, pasar de ellos, right? Just brush them off. All right, you're on the right track. Laura says, I couldn't agree more, Kubla. The book is really worth it. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, don't just put it in the group here. Share it on your Instagram, on Twitter, a picture of you or not. Maybe it's just you, taking a picture of the page, and I'd love to share it as well. And as I said, not just to share the images of the book, but also maybe you might inspire somebody else. Laura says, I heard a young man explaining how a young woman was being rude and mean to him, not realizing that he's a keeper because he's really nice. Spot on, Laura. Spot on. Clavadísimo. Awesome job. All right, anybody else? If not, we've got to move on because we've got so much stuff to do in our show every day. So let's get moving on today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. You know it. It's time for our most difficult challenge every day on the show, but you guys always, you can take it. Toma, el aguantar, el soportar, el tenéis lo que requiere. You've got what it takes, and you can take it. And sometimes it takes longer. A veces se tarda más. See, we're playing with that takes again. Don't take it for granted. No la infravaloras, esa palabra. Don't take it for granted. There's another take, right? My take, mi opinión. That's what I'm asking you guys for on our Say What. I want your take. So take a shower, take a break. Wow, what a useful word. Take, took, taken. All right, Leo wants to participate in our Say What, and then we'll start our spelling bee over here. Let's see what Leo had to say. Leo says, I think an American is commenting on how a lady treated him rudely when he first met her, even though he treated her well. He thinks she should know is around her before behaving like that. Oh, she should know who is around her. Con quién está tratando. So te falta el who ahí. All right, great job. Excellent. Nihad says the speaker is talking about a relationship between him and a woman. She was always trying to steamroll all the time. So don't put steamrolling, porque eso sería el gerundio. So si pones el infinitivo, she was always trying to steamroll all the time. She wanted to hang out with him, but he was a kind of a keeper. All right. You got that word steamroll over there. Great. Chris Valrol says, I heard an American man, maybe an actor, and he's talking about a gal who was a little bit rude with someone. Him? That's the interesting part. Who was she rude to? Who was a keeper? And what is a keeper? A keeper es un guardameta, so if you're playing soccer, but also a keeper es un bragueta, uno que no dejas escapar. Not bragueta. Somebody you're like, wow, this is marriage material. No es para dejarle escapar. A keeper. And so I guess he's talking about characters in a movie. Well, actually, no. He's talking about real life, but he is an actor. So, all right, great job. We've got our spelling bee, amigos, and I want these words to be capitalized today because they are proper nouns. The first round is the lightning round. Lightning, what does that mean? Relámpago. The lightning round, even though the sound is thunder, lightning is what you see. Makes sense. Piensa lightning. It's a lightning bolt. Usain Bolt. El tío más rápido del mundo se llama relámpago. You can't make this stuff up. No puedes inventártelo. No puedes guionizarlo, sería la traducción. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck. I know this is one of the most challenging sections, but I believe in you. Here we go. The first word is SUSPICIOUS space MINDS. The second one is BURNING space LOVE. The third one is LOVE space ME space TENDER. The fourth one is JAILHOUSE space ROCK. The fifth one is ALL space SHOOK space UP. And the last one is HEARTBREAK space HOTEL. Oh my God. I don't know. I could have gotten it. If I'm paying attention and I'm like ready to get it, I'll get it. But if you catch me off guard, even as a native speaker, I can't guarantee I would get that. All right. But I'm not Born to Iron Man, somebody who is playing on a different level. This person is, how can I say it, in the big leagues, in Primera. It looks right to me. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for unfreaking believable, man. Your buddy Born to Iron Man. And as he said, the king of rock and roll is in the house. The king of rock and roll. One thing, anytime his name comes up, Elvis, everybody always says, thank you. Thank you very much. And that's like that's when he used to finish his he was shy. Era tímido. He was a really shy guy and not very attractive. He had bad complexion. He had bad hair. And he's known as a heartthrob. Un tío bueno, un bueno. You know, so it's funny how you can make yourself into what you want to be. And he was very, very self-conscious. And he became the king of rock and roll. It's not that simple. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind the story of Elvis. And by the way, if you haven't heard the Elvis episode of FYI, simply fascinating. In fact, I've got a little promo for you over here so you can give it a listen. His hips are highly hypnotic. His riffs are truly timeless. And his voice is lively and full of feeling. Ultimately, his untimely death at 42 cemented his stratospheric skyrocket to stardom for centuries to come. For we can't help falling in love with him. Almost everyone can agree there haven't been quite as many artists as electrifying and eternal as Elvis. Well, we'll come to know this iconic king on this week's episode of FYI. All right, guys, that's right. FYI, Elvis episode. If you haven't heard it, it's out. You also got last week's episode. What is it on? I can't remember now. Last week, Steve Jobs. The week before, we looked at parenting with Tosh Pasqua. So wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts, please search for Your Ingles. If you're already following my podcast, wherever you follow it, make sure you give it a like, make sure you rate it, because all of that helps, as with the Vaughn radio programs. And the more you guys spread the word, well, the more people we can reach and the bigger our community, our family becomes, the more international it becomes. So thank you again for spreading the word. You guys, and I mean this, you guys are our ambassadors. Nuestros embajadores, our ambassadors. I see we've got some other students who figured it out as well, but let's get into round two before we run out of time, and then we'll give everybody a nice round of applause all together. But excellent job to all of you, and Born to Iron Man. If you have hacked my computer and you're looking at my scripts, man, I'm going to find out. All right, here we go. Round two. The first song, the first Elvis song is SUSPICIOUS space MINDS. You're caught in a trap I can't hold back. All right, number two. I'll give you the rhythm of it too. The second one is BURNING space LOVE. Keeps me lifting higher, like the sweet song of the choir. You light my morning sun, burn. That's what okay, never mind. Forget that last part. That's what I just said. Okay, the next one is LOVE space ME space TENDER. Never let me go. Number 4, JAILHO space ROCK. And this one, went to county jail, on ground square. Use a wooden chair. Can't have a party, use a wood. Let's rock. All right. That's a very popular one, too. The next one, ALL space SHOOK space UP. And that one is I can't say it because those are the lyrics. And the last one is HEART BREAK space HOTEL. And that one, every time I think of that song, I think of a bar, a rock bar in Almeria, in Agua Dulce, where my family's from. So, and when I think about how they pronounce it, my ears bleed. I have literally heard people say Geert Break, and I said, I'm going to go jump off the pier now. Voy a saltar del muelle aquí, del puerto, and hasta luego. Speaking of hasta luego, folks, we got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the third part of today's show. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're learning, and I hope you're ready for more in the second half of today's show. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name, second half. Oh, my goodness. Hope you guys are ready to rock. I am. Roll up your sleeves. Remanga. We're going to have some fun, but we got a lot of challenges up ahead. And speaking of challenges, you've got the lovely Ximena Holiday right after today's show. And her program, Test Your English, where she puts you and Nacho to the test. Super Nacho. After that, you've got the lunchtime show with Rob and Andy and their buddy banter. Then you've got Tash Pasqua and her program Back to Basics. Jules Linares and Let's Get Random. For all you history buffs out there, you've got Guy Williams and his program Western Civilization. Then you've got Dave Boyes and his salad. It's a mixed salad. You never know what to expect with Dave Boyes, but you can expect to have fun. And then round off your day with the incredible Kyle Miller, host of Drive Time. All that on the Vaughn Radio app, amigos. All right. Let's go with our homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
Show with no name. That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, we're going to look at words that tend to be a little bit tricky, but we'll see if you guys know these words, and then we'll see if you know if they sound the same or not. So part one, what are the words? Part two, do they sound exactly the same or not? All right, the first word we've got over here is, when I think of this word, I think of somebody who cleans the hotel room. I think of, sometimes you can say somebody who works domestically in your home as well. Domestic servant. It used to mean an unmarried girl. Okay. So, but now it's not common to call an unmarried girl that. Okay. So let me give you the words in Spanish. I like to tell you in English first and then give you the words in Spanish. So that word is criada, sirvienta, doncella, soltera. Okay. But again, that's antiquated. So just so you know it, FYI, but don't use it that way. Also, it's a way of saying solterona. Es un juego. It's a card game that we played. So si añadimos la palabra old delante, como el juego, es señora solterona would be the translation, okay? And in the wedding is dama de honor. So it's got a lot of uses, that first word. The first thing that comes to my mind, though, is somebody who cleans. But again, there are many, many other uses, okay? And the second word is hecho, fabricado. It's also de la mafia, perteneciendo a la mafia. So if you say, esto es un hombre hecho, en inglés, sí, puede también significar que está en la mafia, the mob. All right, so those are your two words. The first word has several meanings, and the second word is one of the most used words in the English language. It comes from one of the most used verbs in the English language, which is the verb to make. So it's el participio. All right, let's see if you know the two words and if you know if they sound exactly the same or not. What else do we have to do here? Oh, your Say What soundbite. Let me give it to you for the third time. I think this one's extremely easy, so I want to see a lot of participation.
And she is like steamrolling me all the time. And then he's seeing that like she's being rude to me, she's being mean to me. Like, if you're not nice to him, he might not want to be hanging around you. And this is a keeper. This dude is really nice.
All right, there you go, folks. Pretty easy to understand. I don't think, I don't think you guys, knowing your level, I don't think you'll have any difficulty with this one. And I don't think you'll have any difficulty with our homophones either. And also, you didn't have difficulty with our spelling bee. I got so many people who nailed it as well. So we're going to get to the spelling bee in a moment, and we'll say all those people. I like to give credit where credit is due. Hay que dar mérito donde se merece. So, but let's go here step by step, one way or another, step by step. Let's go with our homophones, and then we'll go back and check out our spelling bee songs, our Elvis songs. Let's see. Also, a couple comments. Laura says, no wonder why Ximena and Nacho get along so well. They are both lovely. It's absolutely true, Laura. They're great people. Both of them are amazing people. I'm glad to call my friends. I'm lucky to call my friends. Let's see. There's my dad. He says, good morning, Alberto, friends and family. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. My dad, who was with us in spirit at the book fair. All right, let's take a look at these homophones or not. The first person to participate is Kubla, and he says it's and they're homophones. Well, those are the correct words, Kubla. And let's see if your classmates agree with you. Born to Iron Man, those are the correct words. And Born to Iron Man agrees. Laura, those are the correct words. And she agrees as well. Oh, boy. As my mother would say, oh, boy. Oh, boy. Madre mia. Looks like we're seeing a pattern here. Un patrón. Lupe says they are homophones. Chris says, I think they sound alike. Well, Chris, looking at the people who came before you, I would agree with them too. Well, what do you think? The first word is maid, M-A-I-D. Now, you've probably seen the word before from Maiden, Iron Maiden, you know, the famous group. So Maiden is short for maid. And again, we don't use it in that way anymore. You don't say, oh, she's a young maid. No, it's antiquated. But you do use it to say, do you know when the maid is coming to clean the rooms? Okay, that's fine. That's the person. Or they have 3 maids, live-in, que viven en su casa. They have 3 live-in maids. The word servant does not sound good. Yo sé en español es sirvienta. That doesn't sound good in English. It sounds like, there's a hierarchy there. But everybody does the job that they want to do, right, too. So unless it's indentured servants, esclavitud. So maid, M-A-I-D, maid. We said soltera. The game I was telling you about is Old Maid. No sé si lo tenéis aquí. Es un juego de hacer cartas con pareja. It's a fun game. Y si te toca el Old Maid al final, well, guess what? You lose. Also, the maid of honor. A maid of honor, dama de honor en una boda. Maid service, o como también se llama housekeeping. Excuse me, could you tell housekeeping to come up to room 2224? Right? What else? Any other maid? Those are the maids I can think of. M-A-I-D. Okay? The second one, maid. Oh, my God. Made in China. Seen that plenty of places, right? Maid, right? He was... And remember before I told you it had something to do with the mafia? If somebody tells you he's a made man, okay, a made man es un mafioso. Now, a self-made man is uno que se hizo. Richard Vaughn is a self-made man. Se hizo por sí mismo, right? But if he's a made man, come here, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they are homophones. Also, we need to take a look at our spelling bee really quickly and see what we've got. As I said, the first person to get our spelling bee today was Born to Iron Man, but also a nice round of applause for Kubla, Laura, Chris Valrol, and Lupe. Excellent job to all of you who figured out our Elvis songs. I just got to say this. Thank you. Thank you very much. I told you. Anytime that or Elvis has left the building. These are like words you hear when you talk about Elvis, or I shouldn't say words, more like little expressions. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So amigos, let's take a look at these songs. I sang some of them before, but let's take a look at some now. Suspicious Minds. We can't go on together. Oh, a suspicious mind, and suspicious mind, and we can build our dream. Elvis is awesome. I told you, my daughter calls me Fat Elvis. I take it as she thinks I'm a good singer, right? He was still a good singer at the end of his career. Suspicious Minds. What a great, great song. Man. Burning Love. Like the sweet song of the choir. El coro. You light my morning sky. Burning love. I'm just a hunk of burning love. A hunk, un trozo. But a hunk también es un buen horro. A hunk of burning love. Como soy todo pasión. Es lo que viene a decir la canción. Love Me Tender. There's a little ballad for all you lovers out there. Love Me Tender. Although I got to be honest, my favorite song that he did was Unchained Melody. And that's when he was Fat Elvis, where he's sitting at the piano. I don't know if you've seen this performance. It's, man, you can see a guy who's sick, who's at the end of his ropes, as we say, and giving it everything he's got and feeling every little second of it. It's Unchained Melody, Elvis. I think it's from the Las Vegas comeback. I don't remember but check it out. It's amazing. And if you haven't listened to the FYI episode on Elvis, fascinating guy. Even if you don't like his music, which I don't understand. He's got a little bit of everything. Ballads, rock and roll, hillbilly, country, kind of rockabilly. So the next one, Jailhouse Rock. Talk about pure rock and roll track there. Go to the jailhouse rock. That's rock and roll, as clear as it gets. All Shook Up. Now, it's interesting because sería shaken up. Shake, shook, shaken. So I'm all shaken up. Estoy no, to be shaken up después de un accidente. Estás afectado. But we say all shook up también. Thanks, Elvis. And the last one, Heartbreak Hotel. Heartbreak Hotel. So many songs. We only listed 6 of them here. But thank you. Thank you very much for participating. Also, a nice round of applause for some students who have already figured out our Say What soundbite. Kubla, Laura, and Nihad. Wow. You guys are kicking butt and taking names. But right now, it's time to move on to Name That Movie. Name That Movie. All right, amigos. You know it. It's time for Name That Movie here on the show with no name. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us here today and every day. Thanks for spreading the word, for telling people there's a fun way, a free way to learn English. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's see what we've got here, my amigos. I think this is the simplest synopsis I've ever done in my life. But if you know the movie, como decimos en inglés, if you know it, you know it. No hay que... Es cuando ponen una foto y la única... The caption, el pie de foto pone, if you know it, you know it. Right? Si lo ves, lo ves. Si lo conoces, lo conoces. Ready? A family's home is haunted by a host of demonic ghosts. So a host es un anfitrión, pero en este caso es muchísimos. A plethora, an abundance, a wealth of ghosts. Okay, so simple concept, but it was groundbreaking. Groundbreaking, revolucionario, cambió todo. También hay escenas donde la tierra se rompe y salen. I'm giving you guys a huge spoiler here. The ground starts breaking and these skeletons, these dead bodies start coming out of the ground because the house was built on an Indian burial ground. If you don't know it now, you've never seen this classic. This is a classic horror movie. And still scary to this day. I still think of it, you know? Man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, well, it looks like we've got a winner, somebody who's figured it out. Please give it up for Kubla. Woo! It's Poltergeist. Poltergeist. Chris Valrol got it as well. Great job, my movie buffs. Poltergeist. Was that, Dad, do you remember? My dad's here with us. Do you remember we had it on VHS? And I don't think you guys let me watch it for a few years. You're like, just wait. And I remember being, when I was old enough to watch it, I was like, that was pretty scary. That's when I asked my mom, can we get a nightlight? You know, estas lucecitas para el pasillo. Man, I hate to be vulgar here, but I shit my pants. But that was the idea. That movie was, man. And it's a classic now. You know, not just a horror classic. Came out in 1982. That's why I was too young. So when it came out, I was born in 77. I was 5 years old. My parents were like, I don't think so. They're like, I'm not going to put those images in front of a 5-year-old kid. Now, I think when I was 7, you know, when I was a little bit older, they're like, okay, he knows it's fake. He knows it's a movie, but man. And now, Steve, a lot of people, contrary to popular belief, think that this classic is directed by Steven Spielberg, or Steven Spielberg, as they say here. Not true. He was a writer. He worked as a producer on it, but the director is a guy named Toby Hooper. There's a total trivia. That'll stump them all, desconciertas a todas, because everybody associates it with him, because I guess he was the big name on the project. And it had the tagline, they're here. They're here. Oh, man. Carol Ann, walk towards the light. Acércate a la luz. Oh, man, it was crazy, this movie. I'm still scared to watch it these days. That's how, you know, that's how scary it really, really was there. So, what can I tell you about the movie? A little strange fact. Heather O'Rourke, who played the little girl Carol Ann in the movie, she died young. And Dominique Dunn, okay, she played the mom. She died not old, but not young either, middle-aged, and but they're buried in the same graveyard, in the same cemetery, and that's the famous Westwood Memorial Park in Los Angeles. So that's pretty crazy. Also, Drew Barrymore was considered for that role, but the producer, Steven Spielberg, he wanted somebody a little more angelic, he said. But guess what? He had other ideas for Drew Barrymore, and she ended up being in E.T. So she got her moment. And in fact, Drew Barrymore is still making movies to this day. Unfortunately, Heather O'Rourke died young. And they wanted to make this movie pretty realistic at the time. So there's a swimming pool scene, which is really scary. Just think about it. You're in your pool, and all of a sudden it starts cracking below, and skeletons start coming up and floating into the pool. And you're like, all of this after having hundreds of sleepless nights because your house is haunted. Yeah, I didn't think so. And you know what happened? They used real skeletons. I don't know if that would be allowed these days, but they said it would be too complicated and expensive to recreate fake skeletons. So they used real ones. Now, they did not tell the actress that until the scene was finished. Now, I don't know if that's legal these days. Oh, and you can go see this home. If you're in California, it's in the Simi Valley. And it's a normal home now. It's not a movie set, but it was sold in 2009. The family that owned it sold it. And obviously it's not really haunted, but it was used as the set for that movie. Classic movie over there. Let's take a look at the scene. Dr. Lesh says, some people believe that when people die, there's a wonderful light as bright as the sun, but it doesn't hurt to look into it. Pero no te hace daño. It doesn't blind you when you look into it. All the answers to all the questions that you ever want to know are inside that light. Es conocimientos, think about this, deep words here. And when you walk to it, cuando andas hacia ello, when you walk to it, you become a part of it forever. Te unes a ello para siempre. And then some people die, but they don't know that they've gone. That's what they say, that ghosts are spirits that weren't ready to go. And they're like, oh, no, I'm not going. The body can go. I'm not going. I'm sticking around here. If you believe in it or not, but energy is neither created nor destroyed, right? That's what they say. And what are we? Energy. Uh-oh. I don't want to believe it because I've had a few experiences where the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And I won't get into it here, and it wasn't just me. So, so Robbie says they think they're still alive. He's asking for clarification. They creen que siguen vivos? Like Pearl Jam. Oh, I'm still alive. And then Dr. Lesh says, yes, maybe they didn't want to die. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they hadn't lived fully yet. Or they'd lived a long, long time. And they still wanted more life. They resist going into that light. However hard the light wants them. Por mucho que se lo pide, ven hacia mí. They just hang around. And to hang around is quedarse por ahí, haciendo nada. Right? To hang around. They just hang around. No se van. Watch TV. Watch their friends grow up feeling unhappy and jealous. And those feelings are bad. They hurt. Dañan. And then some people just get lost. Algunos se pierden. Some people just get lost on the way to the light. Camino a la luz. And they need someone to guide them to it, right? Necesitan que alguien les guía hacia ellos. And then Robbie says, so some people get angry and throw things around y lanzan cosas por todos lados? Like in my bedroom, como en mi dormitorio? And Dr. Lesh says, yes, just like in school, okay, como en el cole. Just like in school. Y fijaos, no es in school, it's in school. O sea, la S lo unimos ahí. So just like in school. Like some kids are nice to you. Algunos niños son agradables contigo. Te tratan con respeto. And some kids are mean. Y otros son malos. No? They're mean. The opposite of nice is mean. And Robbie says, I got beat up once by 3 kids. Una vez me dieron una paliza 3 niños. So I got beat up, sería la estructura, to get beat up. I got beat up by 3 kids. They took my lunch money. Cogieron mi dinero para la cantina, para comer. My lunch money. Maybe they got hit by a truck and they're upstairs now. The kid's like, maybe it's my bullies that are upstairs. So whether you believe in this stuff or not, These movies freak you out, and they're enough to give anybody nightmares. Well, folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, we've got a date, una cita, at the book fair. Mark your calendars. Mark them, folks. June 11th, last chance, at least in Madrid. June 11th. From 11 to 2 p.m., we will be at stand 312 in Feria del Libro. Join Damian Moya and yours truly, un servidor. Also, you got Ximena this weekend. You got Guy Williams. Who else? Dave Boys on Saturday. Come join us at stand 312. Feria del Libro, Madrid, baby. Also, you got June 7th. What a week. If you're in Madrid, June 7th, most of us will be at Roll Madrid for the Vaughn Radio Trivia Night with Rob and Andy. Oh, and don't miss Fitz's show. Well, ever, but don't miss it this coming Thursday. Why? Because Damian and I are going to be on Fitz's program, No Excuses. And you can be a part of his class every day right before this class. It's a perfect way to warm up with my buddy Fitz and his program, No Excuses. Yeah. All right, rock and rollers. I think it's time for today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
Double, come on.
Double
Trouble.
I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble only on the Show with No Name, and we'll see what we've got in store for you today. A ver lo que tenemos preparado in our Double Trouble section. This one's going to be really tough. So I'm warning you now. I've noticed this, that I don't know if it's me, but I feel like I have upped the ante or Double Trouble's gotten harder. I don't know. But that's good. That's good that I'm still able to challenge you guys after all these years. And, you know, you guys kick butt. Believe me, you make me stay on my toes. Or you keep me on my toes, más natural. Me mantenéis espabilado like a teacher. Of course, man. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Su camiseta empezó a dar... I was afraid of this moment. I'm going to get it over with. Voy a acabarlo de una vez por todas. Su camiseta empezó a deshilacharse cuando estaba en medio de la pelea. Okay? So, su camiseta empezó a deshilacharse. Okay? It's a really tough word for me. Okay, romperse. ¿No? Que los hilos se separan. The threads. Su camiseta empezó a deshilacharse cuando estaba en medio de la pelea. La pelea, la lucha, refriega, combate. Okay? There's your double trouble. As I said, I think it's going to give you trouble today, but then that's great. That means it's living up to its name, right? Le da honor a su nombre. Double trouble. But I'm sure somebody will figure it out. And many people have figured out our Say What soundbite. Here's your last chance. All right, guys, everybody pay attention and write down what you hear.
And she is like steamrolling me all the time. And then he's seeing being rude to me, she's being mean to me. Like, if you're not nice to him, he might not want to be hanging around you. And this is a keeper. This dude is really nice.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the fourth listen. If you haven't figured it out yet, you'll have to wait, but I know you're going to know who that person is. No doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. In fact, usually they're quite famous people. That's one of the things I always bear in mind. I'm like, ¿van a conocer esta persona o no? All right. So let's take a look over here. Lots of comments coming in. Thank you so much. Let's see. My dad says, your grandfather Gustavo, alias El Gran Sabio, loved every book fair he saw. And we always had great books, as poor as we were. Quite a man your grandfather was. Absolutely the great Gustavo, who I'm named after. I'm named after my two amazing grandfathers, Super Al and El Gran Sabio, as they call him, Gustavo. And yeah, I know that. That's the whole reason my daughter loves books too. So how do you get kids into books? Well, first you got to have them around, because if kids see tablets around, they're going to play with tablets. Good luck with that. If kids see books around and educational games and things like that, and a chalkboard, una pizarra, they're going to use that. And also, if my daughter doesn't see me reading, how is she supposed to get? How is my daughter supposed to learn how to ride a bike if she doesn't see any first? Right? Because I can explain it. And a lot of times that happens. We're at the park yesterday. She goes, look at how that girl's swinging so high. I go, pay attention. Look what she's doing with her legs. She's kicking her legs perfectly at the right time. She goes, she's moving her culo. She said, she's moving her butt. I said, see, she's not just moving her legs. She's moving her whole body. So observation is so important. How is a kid going to learn to read if they never see you read? So the reason my dad loves to read is because he saw the passion his father, my late great-grandfather, not great, bisabuelo, great como gran. You always got to clear that up. Eso es difícil en inglés. I always tell the story of how I was making a card, haces una carta, una tarjeta, you say. And I was like, happy birthday to my great-grandmother. And she goes, I'm not your great-grandmother. This was my Italian grandma, Grace. She goes, I'm your grandmother. I go, yeah, but I mean great-grandmother. And she says, oh, okay, all right. Nobody wants to be bisabuelo if they don't have to be. Abuelo's enough. All right, so no doubt about it. We come from a long line of bookworms. Ratones de biblioteca. Let's see. Kubla's taking a stab at our double trouble. Let me give it to you again, just in case. Su camiseta empezó a deshilacharse cuando estaba en medio de la pelea. And Kubla says his shirt began fraying in the middle of the fray. Yeah! Excellent. Okay. Laura, his T-shirt started to fray. So that's the great thing about start. Okay. Started to fray or started fraying. Los dos te vale. Began to fray, began fraying. Yeah. I love that. I love when you can use both the infinitive and the gerund. That makes life easy. I enjoy watching TV. I enjoy to watch. Ese ya no vale. Pero I like to watch TV. I like watching TV. Que no es verdad. That's a very false statement. Those both were. So what I would recommend, en vez de usar enjoy, que estás limitado a solo uno, use like. All right. So excellent. His t-shirt started to fray when he was in the middle of the fray. Excellent. Excellent job. Chris as well. Excellent, Smithers. So fray. The word is F-R-A-Y. And the fray is the battle, and on el meollo, and also if something starts to fray, it starts to split. The threads, los hilos, start to split up. It happens when cords or things get old. And now that you know, y es un verbo regular, the not frayed, F-R-A-Y-E-D. Now that you know that, it's not time for our joke yet. Well, yeah, it kind of is time for our joke right now. Well, you know what? I'm going to hold that joke and I'm going to tell you in the You're Joking section. But there's a very classic joke that has to do with a fray. A fray. And once you know it, then you'll always remember this. So let's move right into You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking.
That's right, amigos. You're joking, only on the show with no name. So today you get a bonus joke over here. And again, this is a classic joke that we all know. So a piece of string walked into a bar and walked up to the bar. And the bartender said, sorry, mate. We don't serve pieces of string here. Trozos de hilo, de cuerda. We don't serve pieces of string in here. Get lost. Fuera de aquí. And he was pretty upset. The string was like, wow, it's just thirsty. And so the upset piece of string walks out of the bar after being kicked out. And then it dawns on him. Se le ocurre algo. It dawns on him. And he says, and he starts to take his body and twist it around. This is a string, una cuerda. And he ties himself in a knot and he messes his hair up and he just makes himself into a big mess. A knot, un nudo, is a knot. And, just makes himself look like all crazy looking, this piece of string. And then he walks back into the bar and he walks up to the bartender again and he says, hey. The bartender yells at him. He says, hey, aren't you that piece of string from before? The one I threw out of here? And he goes, no, piece of string? I'm afraid not. No, I'm afraid not. Soy un nudo deshilachado. Temo que no. A piece of string walks into a bar. The bartender says, we don't serve string. Sorry, no pieces of string here. He goes outside. He messes up his hair, ties himself in a knot, goes back in, and he says, you're a piece of string, aren't you? That piece of string from before. He goes, no, I'm afraid not. Un nudo deshilachado. Temo que no. Guys, this is like a classic from the vault, right? This is old school. These are ones we used to tell when we were in grade school. Afraid not. And Chris, just be careful. Afraid con ed. So, suena exactamente igual. I'm afraid, porque es el adjetivo en este caso. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. They sound exactly the same. All right, but those aren't the jokes. That was a bonus joke. You get more. Okay, how do ghosts stay in shape? ¿Cómo se mantienen en forma los fantasmas? How do ghosts stay in shape? Well, by exercising. By Exercising. I know, guys. It's just funny, though. Exercising is haciendo ejercicio. To exercise is to take the demons out of somebody. Have you seen the movie The Exorcist? To exercise? Okay. All right. Well, if they don't exercise, they're in grave danger. No. If they don't exercise, exorcismo, to get exorcised, right? And the priest exorcises the demons. But it sounds exactly as the same as hacer ejercicio. So, and then I said, if not, he's in grave danger, in peligro grave. Grave is tumba. All right. Here's another one. Which ghost is the best dancer? And I'll give you a clue. If you're an FYIer and you listen to the dance episode, I talked about this. It's also in the new book, and it's also a brand new movie. Es una película de terror que acaba de salir. It's great. I told Damian, what perfect timing. It's in our book and it's a movie. Wow. Oh, yes. Thank you, Warner Brothers. Or quien sea. Okay. So which ghost is the best dancer? Easy. The boogeyman. I'm your boogeyman. I'll do whatever I can. Your boogeyman. The boogeyman, Hombre del Saco, is the boogeyman. Es una película que ha salido hace nada. And also to boogie means to dance. The boogeyman. Okay. All right. Well, hey, check out the movie. Let me know what you think. I'd like to see it. I like to see horror movies. If you haven't noticed today, we've got a horror theme over here. All right. One more, and then we've got to move on. Why was the haunted house screaming at the top of its lungs? Why was the haunted house screaming at the top of its lungs? A pleno pulmón. Easy. It had a window pane. No? A window pane? Window pane. Un dolor en la ventana. Ok, eso es raro. Ok, pero si escribimos la palabra P-A-N-E, es cristal o hoja de cristal. A window pane. No? Oh, man. Well, there's a song, an Eminem song. He says he's watching her leave out the window. Le está mirando mientras se vaya. Le abandona por la ventana. And he goes, I guess I call... dice la frase, es buenísima, busca lyrics, Eminem. I guess that's why they call it window pane. Qué frase, Supongo que eso es porque le llaman dolor de ventana, hoja, cristal. Aunque no se escriben igual, son homófonos. So we got pain, P-A-I-N, and then window pane. All right. Really bad jokes, but I'm going to make up for them in today's famous birthday trivia. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And I know what song it's from. It's one of Eminem's most popular songs. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. That's all right, because I love the way you lie. He goes, now you get to watch her leave out the window. I guess that's why they call it window pane. Pero Eminem, hats off. What a line there. What a way of playing with homophones on the show with no name. I guess Eminem is a show with no namer as well. I guess so. No, but seriously, do you know how he learned how to say and rap and make it sound good? Whether you're a fan or not, he says 700 words in 3 minutes. Good luck. And they're not just words. There's like puns, juegos de palabras. He used to read dictionaries when he was bored or when he was going back and forth to work or to the studio. He would read dictionaries. Talk about a bookworm, Eminem. And well, what's the result? The guy has got a mastery of the language. And then he rhymes it, which, as I said, you don't have to agree with Eminem or like that his music is angry. But the guy's, he's done an amazing job with the language and also putting it into music, which makes it even harder, right? So, all right, let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. The first person was born in 1953. She is an American film producer. She co-founded Amblin Entertainment, okay? This is one that was founded with Steven Spielberg. You might recognize it at the beginning of E.T. and many great movies, Amblin. Now, she is the president of Lucasfilm. She also obviously is running stuff over there at Disney. In fact, a lot of the Star Wars hardcore fans don't like this woman. They say since she's in charge now, she's ruining the Star Wars brand. Now, I don't think it's one person, but it's easy to take a scapegoat, un expiatorio, you say, and say, all right, this guy over here is our, or you say, no, what is the word you say? Cabeza de turco, you say as well, right? A scapegoat, somebody to blame. I doubt it's all her fault, but she's not liked if you check out her comment, on the YouTube videos about Star Wars. But her first film as a producer was E.T., not a bad start. And she started out working as an assistant to Steven Spielberg. And what happened was, this is Steven Spielberg's words. He said she was horrible at taking notes, but what she did know how to do was interrupt somebody mid-sentence. Interrumpir a alguien en medio de una frase. We'd be pitching ideas back and forth. And Kathy, who was supposed to be writing these ideas down, suddenly put her pencil down and would say something like, and what if he didn't get the girl, but instead he got the dog? So, she just had these amazing observations where he goes, we need you on the creative team. Forget, you're not good at taking notes. Don't worry. We'll put you to use. And the rest is history. She's credited as the associate producer on Raiders of the Lost Ark, dun, 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 Poltergeist, and so many more. Number 2, the drummer and songwriter of Iron Maiden. We looked at the word maid before. Maiden. Iron Maiden, oh man, what a band. They are awesome. I've seen them on tour many times, and they're great. That's, there's some bands that you see them live and you're let down, decepcionado, and other bands where you see them live and you're blown away. That's Maiden. And last but not least, this guy used to be a rapper. When I first knew who he was, and many people from my generation, we didn't know him as an actor. We knew him as Marky Mark. I gave you his first name now. But as he became an actor, they stopped calling him Marky Mark. He's got a great song. Good vibration. Come on. You got the sweet sense. He had really cool song. And his brother was in New Kids on the Block. Wow. We're talking about royalty in the music industry. But as I said, his career took a different path. And now he's an award-winning actor. He was in Boogie Nights. Hey, hemos hablado de Boogie antes. Boogie Nights. What else? The Italian Job, The Perfect Storm, The Other Guys, Ted, Transformers. He is a really huge A-list celebrity. And we've got a winner. Give it up for Chris Valrol. Number 1, producer Kathleen Kennedy. Number 2, Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. And number 3, Mark Wahlberg. And this is Mark Wahlberg in this talking about his daughter. A lot of you guys were saying, what is this guy talking about, right? Is the person saying that they're disrespecting him? Yes. This is Mark, I was going to say Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Wahlberg, and he's talking about how his daughter just runs the show. She steamrolls him. Now, to steamroll is arrollar. Piénsalo, steamroller aplana la calle, right? So to overpower, como puede conmigo, me arrolla. So that's Mark. So Mark, how funny is that? The irony. Mark Wahlberg, big, muscular, kick anybody's ass. He's in the movies. He's a tough guy. And his daughter has her way with him. His daughter says, no, you don't run. No. She steamrolls him. And what he's talking about is her boyfriend, that he really likes her boyfriend. Porque they asked him in the interview, what do you think? Your daughter's dating now. And he goes, well, she's estaba diciendo como, me da más pena el chaval, poor kid. He said, he's a nice guy. He goes, and she's steamrolling me all the time. A él, a Mark, a su padre. And then he, seeing that she's being rude to me, entonces él, viendo que está siendo grosera o mala conmigo, she's being mean to me, and if you're not nice to him, he might not want to be hanging around you. Lo que está diciendo, como el tío estará tomando nota, si le tratas a tu padre así, ¿cómo vas a tratar? So, a lo mejor no va a quedar contigo, estar contigo, to hang around you. Y otra vez, he's saying, and I love the guy. I think this is a keeper. The dude is really nice. Es uno para casarse con él. So it's kind of funny when they're asking, you'd think he was going to be like, I'll kill any of those guys. He's like, my daughter's the one who's... The guy's fine. He's a really nice guy. All right, let's hear Mark Wahlberg in his own words.
And she is steamrolling me all the time. And then he's seeing she's being rude to me. She's being mean to me. If you're not nice to him, he might not want to be hanging around you. And this is a keeper. This dude is really nice.
All right, folks, and we don't have time, but this is our song to say goodbye. If you'd like to take a look at the words, the lyrics are inspirational. It's called Wasted Years by Iron Maiden. Thank you so much, everybody. Great song about knowing when you're living in the golden years and recognizing it. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you tomorrow with more. Ciao for now.